Namaskaram, everyone. Recently I attended the Samyama Sadhana program. It was my second Samyama Sadhana. So overall, I participated in like three Samyamas, the main Samyama, and then the following up of two Samyama Sadhanas. If many of you are already aware of that, the Samyama programs is taking place twice back to back. One is in the December and another one, I think it's in February. So that is in the IYC, and another Samyama program is scheduled in III at Tennessee in United States also. So the reason why I'm making this video is there are several meditators who actually asked me how to, what kind of food would be best to prepare for, how to manage food for the Samyama program, because it's a little bit of challenge for many people because they have to have certain kind of diet for at least 60 days. If you can sustain that forever, it's really good, but again, it depends upon the lifestyle and everything. I'll share a little bit of my experience. So before we begin, this is just my sharing. You should not take this as the ultimate guide or any kind of instruction for preparation for the Samyama. If you are going for the Samyama program, you have already attended the pre-Samyama meet, or you are planning to attend the pre-Samyama meet. So you just follow up the instruction that is shared by the ashram, and then you take that guidelines. But at the same time, since I was getting a lot of queries, I think it's one of my responsibility as a previous participant that I can share a little bit of food arrangements so that we are not going to struggle. So let's begin then. To begin with, a Samyama is a program that lasts for 8 days, which is actually offered by Sadhguru himself. And we had the privilege of attending the Samyama program in the March of 2019. So it requires a lot of preparation. From my point of view, the way I understand is, I'm not talking about the Samyama, but Samyama is more like, learning to ride a bicycle, or you are trying to become free, because in the past, if you ask my experiences, spiritual journey and everything, initially I was traveling to all these energy spaces, and which I've started recently also. So for me, going to the energy spaces like Tiruvannamalai, or recently in the Sadhguru Sri Brahma Samadhi spaces and the ashrams, you can go and sit over there, and then you can experience high intensity of energies, and you can go to the meditative states effortlessly. But the main objective of the sadhana and this is just like Sadhguru says, that you want to become free on your own, so that you don't need the external stimuli. So because of that reason, Samyama is in the place. But again, as far as I know, that there are 4 aspects. Even Sadhguru has also mentioned it. I'll try to simplify it again. You should not take this as a teaching or instruction or anything per se. You should not take it like that. So there are 4 forces working on, which is actually making us happen. The being here, which is just sitting in front of this camera and speaking to you. The first aspect is the body, the second aspect is the mind, the third aspect is the awareness, and then the fourth aspect is actually the energies. So the programs, silence programs, not only Samyama, but programs like Samyama or Vipassana, or any kind of a silent retreats, they will involve in a way that you want to transcend the physicality, which is basically made up of the mind and body essentially, although energies is also the subtle dimension of that one. So because of that reason, the main objective is basically to reduce the influence of the body and then the mind while we're sitting in a meditation. And at the same time, we want to intensify two things that can be limitless. For example, the awareness is on all the time. Even if we are in the deep sleep, the awareness is still on. Only the mind has been deactivated, that's why we are not aware of that one. At the same time, the energies are also on all the time, which is actually making us alive. So, reducing the influence of the mind and body, and at the same time enhancing the energies and then the awareness. Because of that reason, there are a lot of aspects. I'll not go into Hatha Yoga and Kriya Yoga aspects of it, but little bit is one thing is Hatha Yoga and Kriya Yoga is basically used for the balancing the system as well as building the awareness and enhancing the energies. That is the aspects of that one. Apart from that one, now like I mentioned that if you want to increase your energies, I'll not go too much detail into the Samyama because it will not be fair for you, because it is the something you need to learn firsthand. So I'll not do that aspect, but just from the food aspect is basically you want to reduce the influence on the body and mind so that they are not the barrier actually. So, and since this is a completely silence program, because there are many different meditative techniques in which we make use of the mind and body, for example Hatha Yoga or something, but here Hatha Yoga are only used at the foundation and they are not the goal by itself. So because of that reason, we want to just just like I mentioned, reduce the influence of the mind and body. And if you know that Sadhguru has categorized the food as the positive pranic, negative pranic, and neutral pranic, or we can say in terms of rajasic, tamasic, and sattvic kind of foods. Again, I'll go into Mori's approach and everything. So basically, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic, they can also be categorized the positive, neutral, and negative pranic. So basically, the food like tomatoes and potatoes, if you have already know, I think you already know, that is going to introduce the tamas in the body, which basically means you will become lethargic. You will slow down, your body will slow down, which basically influences your awareness. You cannot become aware for a long time. That is one of the reasons that Zen Buddhist as well as the Buddhist practitioner, they always take a cup of tea before they go to sleep, because for Buddhist practitioner, they are the way of the awareness. They just follow the awareness, breath awareness, and all that kind of practices. So because of that reason, just because they don't want to fall asleep, they take the tea. But the Kriya Yoga is completely different. We don't take tea and everything because tea can also develop compulsions. Because you must have seen that people, even they are hungry, if they have not eaten a food, they can manage food. Maybe they can skip a meal and then eat in the noon or the afternoon, but they can skip the tea. So because of that reason, we prohibit tea also, because if you are drinking tea or any kind of compulsive food, for example a non-vegetarian food or something like that, what actually happens is it will develop certain kind of tendencies in the system, which basically means it will ask for that food again and again, which basically means your bodies actually become more stronger. So it will come in the way of your sadhana or the practices which will require a lot of awareness and balance and all that kind of stuff. And then one of the reason you need to prohibit chilies are also the same thing. Chilies, garlic, chilies are basically if you just take it, it will skew your sensitivities. For example, when you are sitting in meditation and everything, the main objective is to experience everything as they are. But if you take a lot of spice, chilies, coffee, tea or something, what actually does is it will skew your sensitivity of your taste bud or whatever. So because of that reason also that not only that, even if you have a lot of energies in your system, if you are eating a lot of spicy, then that is going to block your sensitivity. Okay, the energy is still there, but your ability to be receptive and experience that will be sort of curtailed. If you know that a coffee and everything, they actually paralyzes the tiredness aspect of your body, which is not good from the Kriya Yoga point of view. Awareness point of view, I think it might be all right if you are just practicing, Buddhist meditation, but it's a different aspect altogether. So the other reason, you are going to prohibit the onion, garlic, hing, asafoetida, as well as the milk. The milk products also you should not be taking is because of the main reason why you should not be taking them is because these are actually used as the sexual medicines. Because if you know that onion and garlic, they can actually increase the testosterone in the system, and the milk contains a high amount of estrogen hormones, which are necessary for the survival point of view of the body. But if you are trying to go beyond and transcend the physicality, then you want to, at least for the duration of the time being, for the sadhana, you have to keep aside. So again, like I said, these are the things you need to try to avoid. Not try to avoid, but if you're going for the samyama, you should avoid. Okay. So the proper guideline is try to eat as much raw food as possible. I'll share a little bit of my experience. So while I was preparing for the samyama or samyama sadhanas, I prefer to go completely raw food, but again, completely going raw is the best thing to go. But for a long period of time, what is actually going to happen is you are going to lose a lot of weight, which actually happened with me also. So if you see, whenever I was going through the immigration, people couldn't actually believe I was the same person. So several times, they got confused. That is one aspect. So you can lose weight very easily, but at the same time, again, depending upon your activities. For example, if you are doing a lot of physical activity or a lot of mental activity, working on the computer and a lot of meetings, and you have to travel a lot or something, just like the ashram suggests, it's best you can bring it to at least a 50% of the raw food. But if you can, if your activity does not demand too much of physicality, try to avoid traveling, going a lot of places and everything. Try to do your sadhana, and at the same time try to have a raw food as much as possible. But in my experience, you can have at least one or two breads, or you can have a rice also, cooked rice, and that's it. Cooked part is only the rice. You can have a lot of sprouts, and you can have a lot of fruits, and then a lot of vegetables. For example, the pumpkin, raw pumpkin, if you just grate it, it's become very tasty. A little bit of honey, a lot of herbs as well. And then you can also have, if you're in India, then you can have a lot of asgots, highly pranic, okay, very sattvic in nature. It is going to increase a lot of prana in the system, and a lot of other stuff can be, you can have a lot of fruits, and try to avoid the something that is grown under the ground. But one of the thing that is highly pranic, another very good is beetroot. Okay, beetroot is also very nice. You can try different kind of grains, but try to avoid something that is very difficult to digest for you. You can try for a few days. So try to avoid not try to avoid, but you need to avoid non-veg food, tea, coffee, chilies, and everything whatever I mentioned. And at the same time, you should avoid the dairy products also. So the difference is huge. Okay, so but once I was on a completely raw diet, and I was in a very high active kind of intensity, where I had to speak maybe 5 to 8 hours a day, and then towards the 4 or 5 days it became too intense, and then my glucose level actually dropped. Okay, and then I was feeling very weak, and then I had to take some the what is it called, OSR, I think. So I had to take a certain kind of electrolytes, and then coconut water is also really good. You can try to have coconut water every day. So these are the things. It's very straightforward. And there is one thing in the YouTube, you can actually find something known as the Isha recipes. If you search, you can find a very high pranic dishes. Isha recipes. There are 14.6 thousand subscribers are there. So you can go over there and then see what kind of food is compatible for the sadhana. And yeah, food is very very important, because I don't want to break a lot of stuff or something, but yeah, you do your best. So it's a rare opportunity for any of the beings living in this planet, coming as a human body, and then be able to, you know, be part of the programs like this is phenomenal. I don't need to go into that after you have already enrolled into that program. So best wishes from my side. You do your sadhana as recommended by the ashram. And yeah, so like please make the best out of it. From the food aspect, like you know, it was very necessary for me to give you a little bit of pretext and then the context also, so that you can understand like why you need to control all this food. One of the reason, like you know, the sadhana has nothing to do about, you know, the reproductive or like you know, the medicinal aspect of the garlic, onion, or this kind of food. But one of the main reason is like when you are going to a sadhana, like, you know, Samyama or Vipassana or any of the other kind of silent retreats, I've seen like many people actually go for 6 months also. And I don't need to go into like a many saints and everything. For them, if they want to go and sit for a long time, like they don't want the body to be the issue, they want to go beyond the duality, and that is the main objective. So for this, I think like we can do at least like a 60 days of little bit of you know, sadhana, and then a little bit of nishtha as well, so that we should commit to this, and this kind of opportunity will not come back again and again. So thank you very much for watching, and best wishes for your Samyama program.